welcome everybody to the Onward VRML Season 13, Week 12. My name's NightFiree with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster, Park. How are we feeling today, Park, for what is a very high-tier matchup, SirenSnails versus Resurgence?
I'm feeling great, NightFiree. These two teams are both very good, and they both come from completely different backgrounds, where we got Resurgence with a lot of championship members, ex-Rome members, kind of a mesh between the Vanquishers and Rome team. Then we got SirenSnails, who last season were a gold team, but have been working up their way to master, and have in the recent few weeks, they have beat some pretty well-established teams, so they definitely deserve to be here facing Resurgence. I think it should be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, I'm excited to hop into the action here this afternoon. We do have our pick bans in so far for the afternoon. It looks like coming in from SirenSnails, we have the cargo ban. And from Resurgence, we have the quarantine ban. Map pick number 1 does stay within the close quarters, even though they have banned a couple, at least cargo out from that space, and it does take us to Subway. And I'm curious, Park, what do the stats tell us? What's the story here on these bans? Is it a ban of strength, a weakness, and then that map pick?
Well, the stats tell us for the SirenSnails ban that they aren't necessarily bad at the map, as they are 2-1 on cargo, but Resurgence has a perfect record, 5-5 on cargo, so they were banning 2 Resurgence's strengths. If we go to Resurgence's ban with quarantine, SirenSnails has a decent record on it, 4-2, and Resurgence has only played it once a season, so probably one of their least favorite maps. So they're kind of banning for their own weakness.
Okay. Yeah, it's always interesting to look at that statistically, why teams are picking into where, and you know, it oftentimes does go back into those stats, and it does show the value of having that all those stats tracked on the website, and you can see all those stats for any of your favorite teams or players over at vrml.com/onward. It is a one-stop shop for all of your Onward needs. We are just about well, we're in the process of getting ready to jump into map number 1, which is on Subway. And Park, what that coming from SirenSnails, what is their success rate on Subway? How does Resurgence look on it?
All right, so for SirenSnails, their success rate on Subway is about half and half, but it still is one of their favorite maps, as they have played it 8 times and won 4. So I'm sure against certain teams they have struggled a little bit, but obviously it's one of their favorite maps, as they have picked it quite a bit, and they have picked it tonight since they are the home team. If we look at Resurgence, on the other hand, they have Subway as their most played map, and they have almost a perfect record on it, 6-5. They've played 6 times and have won 5. So SirenSnails must be very confident in their Subway abilities if they picked Subway against Resurgence with almost a perfect record on it.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's moments like these where I wonder, do I have the info wrong? Is Resurgence the home team here? Because this feels like a home team pick if we're going to look at the stats. But to your point, not all the teams are making these assessments statistically, and so maybe there is like you said, a hidden confidence, so to speak, in this map that the stats aren't necessarily showing that this team wants to bring to, up against Resurgence. Take a look at I can't remember off the top of my head what the ranks are currently of these two teams. 4th and 1st, so Resurgence actually first place overall in that North American ladder. So very impressive to be, again, picking into their strength. And at this level, I don't know that the excuse, I think that statistically, the analysis should be being done. These teams should be should really be diving into the stats to get any advantage they can at this level.
Yeah, I definitely think they should be, but at the same time, when you face a team like Resurgence, sometimes you kind of want to stick to your basics when you're going up against such a good team that's almost undefeated on the season. Right. So even if, let's say, Resurgence had a map where they weren't as confident on it, didn't have as good stats as Subway, but let's say SirenSnails weren't as confident against them on it, and they haven't had experience on that map. When you go against a top-tier team, even if the stats tell you probably shouldn't pick the map, I get what they were going for because they want to stick what they're confident in to maximize the amount of points and get against one of the best teams in Onward currently.
Yeah, it's you're absolutely right. It seems to be that comfort choice, and so we are just moments away from diving into this map number 1. Let's take a look at the active rosters for the day. Over on SirenSnails, we have E. Hansen, Downpour 11, Kami Aaron, OKM Blue, and Light Skin. And over on Resurgence, we have Rambo 11, Varix, Ree, Playboy Nug, and Chawai. And that seems to be the usual suspects for both sides. No subs coming in here, and obviously this late into the season when you're trying to climb for that top tier in the ladder, you don't want to be bringing in any subs. You want to be sticking to your core.
Yeah, you definitely have to have like your solid starter roster lineup this late in the season, especially if you're a team like SirenSnails, where they are pretty high up in the rankings. But based on MMR of 1260, if they just get a few losses, they could get knocked out of that playoff bracket. If there are teams below them that are constantly winning games. So especially for SirenSnails, it's a critical game, and Resurgence probably wants to keep their spot as number 1 in North America throughout the entire season.
Yeah, that is a goal to be sought after. I got to take a look here quickly. What is the Resurgence win-loss rate this season as well? Because I feel like they might only have, or maybe they don't have
loss.
any.
Yeah, they only have one loss, and it's against Peacekeepers earlier on in the season. But then they rematched later on in the season, and Resurgence was able to take it against Peacekeepers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they are certainly on a tear, if you will, for over the course of Season 1, and very excited. I know a lot of people very hyped to tune into this matchup this afternoon. We do have multiple matchups happening here throughout the course of the evening. Obviously, this one's going to kick us off, but then we do have another highly sought-after match after this one, starting likely around map number 3 of this one. Oh, it looks like the ID Crisis isn't on that one anymore. It was going to be Azusa versus Legacy. Oh, yeah. No, this is on. Azusa versus Legacy will be live on Master League 2 in about an hour and a half from now. And we'll be jumping over there once this game finishes, so you won't miss out too much on that action. But going to be a good string of games here this afternoon to be tuning into. A lot of hype around both of these matchups on the vote system. And I'm looking at the connoisseur votes. I think people just want to see Resurgence because there's a 39-1 vote in favor of this Resurgence team here this afternoon.
Wow.
That is pretty one-sided.
SirenSnails are definitely the underdogs going into this match, like most teams are when they face Resurgence, but they'll be looking tonight to prove everybody wrong, that they're as solid as Resurgence, and it'll be interesting if we can see if they're able to pull it off tonight.
That's a good flash early. Might have cut out Chawai, but they do tuck in behind the trash cans there. It doesn't look like Blue is spotting them out until the shots do come through from Chawai. A very minimalized peek over the top. More are coming in. They manage to catch another on the corner, and Nade comes in, and it doesn't kill Chawai. It looked like a perfect toss.
Downpour tried to pre-fire him in that corner, but wasn't able to get it off, and he's still causing carnage in that corner. Might be flash now, though.
Yeah, you can see that blind fire going up and over, and now the smoke is blinding them out. Playboy Nug catches Hansen trying to rotate around, and SirenSnails are having a tough time. Downpour does catch Chawai in the smoke, but Ree's here on the flank. What the heck? Where did they come from? Rotating around from the south. Kami's not ready for it. Resurgence are going to pull off a defensive W within a minute. That went pretty well for them.
Wow, yeah, it did. Their flank worked out perfectly. They were able to hold the spots that they were holding passively, and that allowed Ree to get a lot of time on that flank without risking a cap on their side, and was able to take down the remainder of the 2 members that were left.
It's a scary start, to say the least, for this SirenSnails team. Resurgence are coming out the gate like that on defense. Obviously, they challenged for that position in the corner, and really just well played. I'm surprised that nade doesn't catch the kill in that back corner, but you know how Onward nades work and the curb system works, and it got in behind the box. Wow, that is unfortunate. It must have gotten behind this box when it detonated, and that, of course, we all know nullifies grenade damage when you're too close to it, and so somehow it doesn't get killed by that. It's
barely missed.
I mean, that had to have been so close, but a good effort, and the value there of just kind of blasting down a corner, pre-firing it a little bit. They catch that second kill by just shooting the corner before anyone's there even. You know, just anticipating more of the team. You know, you can hear the comms too. They're calling out that quick spawn. And so as soon as that quick spawn call out comes in, Ree then ends up rotating around to the south underground to come up for that flank. And so it's just really nice reactive teamwork there. I don't know if that flank would have come in without that call out from the trash can.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would have. Ree did go downstairs pretty early on, but he could have easily came back up if they didn't get the proper spawn. But they're definitely heavily communicating with each other, which is definitely what helped them get that round win. But now SirenSnails will be on vault to start this round. Hopefully, they'll be able to take the defensive win to tie this up 1-1. That's what they'll be trying for. But Resurgence, aggressive push up the south stairs here.
Wow, I love that nade toss. Amazingly placed down in the corner. Doesn't catch anyone out. Another nade coming in here. This time it's a flash, and Downpour catches a triple off of peeking this corner. Big moves there. A counter flash from Blue. Oh, no, a team flash from Blue as they completely swarm and shut down the south entry. But Resurgence haven't put all their eggs in one basket, and it's going to be up to the duo rotating up from the basement to try and make something happen.
One behind the right side.
Son, we'll be watching that angle. They are pre-firing their position. They know where they are at. Oh,
there it is.
Rambo gets a kill on Tucson. SirenSnails should know Resurgence's final two position, or at least they know one of them will be in the west alley here.
Oh, and Ree swings a little too quick as they can't identify OK and Blue in the distance. They're going to find Ree out in the open. Rambo goes down to a nice rotation from Lightskin. Well, this looks a lot like the first round, doesn't it? With SirenSnails, 4 left alive, shutting down Resurgence with about a minute off of the clock. Very nicely done on both sides on the defense. We're in for a good game, I think, if this is the story that we're going to be told here, Park.
Yeah, we're going to be in for a very good game. Both teams were able to bring it back. Good on SirenSnails to not be discouraged by that first round loss. We're able to bring it back for another one. I think we got another upstairs OBJ here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be over into the south, just by the stairwell. This could be another very quick one, you know. And I mean, the pacing too. Both those teams, I don't know where SirenSnails spawn was. I think they got the quick spawn over in the south. But either way, both these teams really applying pressure out the gate very fast. You know, no time wasted on trying to push this objective, and it is, you know, reminiscent of old school NA styles with really very quick play styles, and you know, I suppose current day NA play styles do kind of lean into the faster sort of gameplay, heavy on flashbangs and early utility use. But I mean, I don't know if you caught it, that nade on defense. I don't know how it didn't kill anybody, because I saw the detonation. You know, again, the beauty, like the curbs of Onward denying these grenades from connecting, but that grenade went just over the roofs of both of these buildings and landed at the stairs. I mean, that is a practiced toss to be making. That is a nade I haven't seen tossed before.
Yeah, they've definitely practiced that a lot, and it almost paid off. Both nades tonight just barely missing their target, as the nade logic is a little bit interesting in this game.
Yeah.
But let's see if Resurgence can get the third Vault win in a row, or if SirenSnails can break the pattern and get a Marsoc win on this South OBJ.
They're going to get the quick spawn, so we could see some very early action. It's going to go up to Chawai and that LMG fire to really do enough damage or identify, I suppose, this aggression. And the flash comes up and over, does catch Chua, forces them back into the trenches. And this is the information given to Resurgence that this team is pushing from this side. They try and take control of Sex Shop Alley, and it does not work out. Ree is there to shut down both Blue and another, and they're going to try and fire their way around the corner, but Ree tucks in as they're recognizing that. Nothing connects from Kami, but I love the play from Kami, trying to just blast them with fire and not risk checking the corner. Ree almost catches Hansen there, and we're into a battle here in the alley.
Wow, and important to note, Chowie is in Horseshoe right now, so he could come out and potentially flank the remaining two that are still fighting with Ree, and he is, as he's going for, or no, he isn't. He goes in the kind of like divot for now, but he has now advanced to Chinatown. He's going to try to pull off the flank, but Lightskin gets a kill on him as Rambo gets a kill on Isan. Is now a 2v4. Ree is still in that sex alley there. And Ree gets a kill on Cammy. It is now a 1v4 for Lightskin.
They just have
very
a
difficult pad.
really nice three-quarter coverage peak there, where it's basically just a head peek, and they're catching out these kills. They're using the tiny slice to get all the way down, almost into that spawn, you know, down in the on the other side. And so now Lightskin has a tough line to cross they don't have information on, and they're actually going to try and smoke this position out, which should have happened earlier, but, you know, Captain Hindsight here, as it does come through, it does force Ree off their position, and it does give Lightskin maybe an opportunity to push through there, but it is a 1v4 against the best team in NA, so it's going to be a tough challenge.
Yeah, nothing easy about this, especially when they have both alleys covered. It does look like Ree's pushing up a little bit through the smoke. He might be looking for Lightskin, but Lightskin is in the dumpster area here, so it'll be hard for Ree to find him. If Lightskin sees Ree, he could get his first kill here.
And man, this is just an incredibly aggressive defense, because SirenSnails, I mean, this is Lightskin playing defense. This is a defensive position that you would commonly take, you know, with this objective here that would be here. But this Resurgence defense really pushing it. And I mean, that can cost you. That aggression can whittle your team down. And now that there's only 3 left, I imagine that aggression isn't going to continue, and that these 3 are going to really kind of lock themselves in for what is going to be the next 3 minutes, potentially, unless Lightskin decides to try and push earlier.
Yeah, you would assume it would kind of halt, and it looks like it is, but Rambo did push up a little bit more in West Alley, but he's now retreating back to OBJ.
Yeah.
Won't be watching that anymore, so we should see some very passive positions, especially after Reed died from the push. Lightskin is a very good player, and he did identify he could have been flanked there, so he was waiting for it, so I don't think Resurgence will make that mistake again.
RX.
And there's flashes.
Information gained and bullets spent at the end of the day by Lightskin.
Yep. All of Volk will know where he is now. They could still be potentially expecting a rotation, but at this point, they know at least for the next 30 seconds he will be in this general area. As they send more utilities out, that will definitely not hit him, though. At this point, I think Resurgence is trying to get the time to wind down as they're putting pressure on him. And Varix goes all the way down in the south. Utility out by Lightskin. Frag barely missing Playboy Nugget. Wow, another frag that came so close.
And this is the beauty of the LMG, the suppressive fire. Look at how quick that reload comes through, too. Lightskin does try and capitalize on this reload time, but it's going to be a nice swing from Playboy Nug that catches the kill on the corner, and Resurgence do hold on to their defensive round, although at a little bit more contested this time. Still, though, a good hold from Ree, and ultimately one position catches a couple of kills out on SirenSnails as they try and push up. So, you know, their forward defense really been paying off for them so far.
Yeah, it has been, as it's kind of caught SirenSnails maybe a little bit off guard, as it seems like on offense, They aren't necessarily slow, as they do use utilities to kind of push, but they do take their time a little bit, which makes sense. You want to check all their angles.
Yeah.
So if Resurgence pinches them from both sides on defense, it is very easy for those flanks to go off. But we've also seen SirenSnails do the same thing to Resurgence on defense as well. So it seems like these two teams so far are two very strongly defensive-oriented teams, at least on Subway, as they're able to have a very good mix of passive play style on defense, but also send 1 or 2 people to go out and flank and get the advantage on defense.
And it's a real threat, you know. It ends up at the end of the day pulling a potential attacker away from that 5-man squad, because you have to sit somebody at your flank. You have to sit somebody to watch your back at all times, because now this team's demonstrated if they don't, that it's going to be abused, that big kills are going to come in if you don't have somebody watching your flank. And so I think we saw last round already that adaptation being made by SirenSnails, and that goes to show you where we're at in the ladder, you know, that these teams are actively shifting strategies and styles as they're playing their opponent, and that's what you expect at this tier. And so good on SirenSnails to be a little bit more wary of that flank, and I think it did kind of slow down their overall offensive push. But either way, yeah, I think we're in for a good one here. We'll have to see, of course, if Resurgence can maybe put together a good offensive round. If they can get a cap, it's map 1 into the hands of Resurgence, so potentially map point on the line here as we dive into round number 4. SirenSnails on defense and Resurgence attacking. Not the quick spawn for them. They'll be spawning into that basement, and you do see the utility being invested here. Grenade and flash. That's a couple of points gone that aren't going to get any net result here because Resurgence aren't pushing this lane. But Park, you gotta be careful for it.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful for it. And Chewy is pushing. He's on right now, as I think they both hear each other, both know they're in the south, and we have a 3-man push on the Sex Alley right now. There is Blue defending it, but it looks like he's Flash, and everybody's coming up and not seeing Blue.
Wow.
As they get the kill onto him.
I didn't even see Blue as they came up there, tucked in behind the trash can. You can hear they're kind of chuckling about it now as that body is stuck in. Yeah, a big flash grenade there that catches them out and allows Resurgence now a lot of control of this alley. And I mean, where is the defense becomes that question. Kami is on objective. Lightskin's a rotation away. Downpour is kind of pushed far forward. I mean, they're going to be put into a position where they're actually going to have to retake their objective if they lose Kami on it right now, because they are spread out. They have that forward defensive setup where they're kind of hunting for kills, but it does have risks, as all things do in this game. There's a risk-reward trade, and there's a trade there between Rambo and Downpour. Interesting.
Rambo only be down for though, so Nugget will go for the revive on him. But yeah, their defensive positions could have easily paid off, and still could. But when there's a 3-man push, no matter where it is, and you have a spread out defense, it's very easy to kind of poke holes into it. And the situation you described of them collapsing back could easily happen. As I think Rambo was testing out if his gun was shooting there. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe his gun jammed earlier on. Oh, the C4 gets in the Sex Alley. Nugget will push it though.
Yeah, I like this push from Kami to get in front of the smoke, but they can't get Nug. And now there's a smoke on objective, and now the defense has to come crashing back. Nug and Rambo could push forward here. Meanwhile, they can't crash back because Vargas and Chwai are applying pressure, so Lightskin is trapped in the corner. E. Hansen at least can defend on objective, and they're going to catch a big double. A trade between Chwai and Lightskin and Hansen puts us into a 1v1 just like that.
Everything shifted very quickly there, as it looked really grim for SirenSnails, as it looked like it could have easily been capped on, but San with a very good push back onto OBJ, catching that double kill, leaving Chowie in quite a troubling situation here. But it is very possible to do, as it is a 1v1.
Be big. Take that 3-1 lead. Hansen doesn't need to apply any pressure. but they do need to make sure they're rotating around objective to be sure that it's not getting capped on. But once they can clear it out, they can then kind of tuck in a little bit. You know, this objective, you either have to smoke or really kind of push out in the open in order to be effectively capturing it. So the threat of a cap isn't as heavy as other objectives, and E. Hansen can kind of tuck in to a position. Unless Chawai pre-fires it while they swing the corner, we'll have to see where this goes. There's a lot of time on the clock.
Seems like that pre-fire could have potentially been bait to try to get one of their members to push out, but ESN will stay tucked in their corner and now has a good idea where Chowie is, which means they won't have to look at West as often, but still will, as it is potential that Chowie could choose to go on the rotation to the West Alley.
It just doesn't seem, you know, we saw this last round, it just doesn't seem smart to push the only corner that you've been challenging. You know, you certainly can try to pre-fire, but there's other options that Chawai could take here. They could rotate around his Sex Alley, be a lot closer to this objective, not push this long lane. That flash could have been a lot closer, but instead it's not. And Hansen should have a clear view. We're into a trade, and it's going to go into the favor of SirenSnails. The Onward gods have decided that we're going to stay tied here 2-2.
Wow, what a great play from Yusan, being able to get that 2K in the West Alley, shutting down a cap attempt, and being able to get that 1v1, even though it was a trade, but still, still very critical for SirenSnails, especially when they are the heavy underdogs going into this match. A lot of those connoisseurs, I doubt, expected it to be tied 2-2 on one of Resurgence's best maps.
Yeah, no kidding, especially when we started this thing with looking at those percentages and the stats. Just looked like it could be Resurgence's game, but who knows? The real test is in the next few rounds, because SirenSnails do have to take a Marsoc W if they want to take this map. If they want to take their map pick, they're going to have to take a Marsoc round. Otherwise, we'll keep trading Volk, and we'll finish 4-3 into the favor of Resurgence, move on to map 2, which is their map pick. So, is that right?
Yeah, it is. Resurgence map pick, too.
So it's not what this you know, SirenSnails team wants right now, and that I think a lot of it's going to come down to objective. Our next OBJ, as we do rotate, does take us down into the subway, but not to the north, not to the basement. It's going to put us right into the center. This objective certainly is capturable. I've seen the code get entered onto it plenty of times. It is still a challenge to get close, but with this kind of fast, quick gameplay, I do think there's potential for one of these teams to go for a cap attempt here if they get the right utility placement.
Yeah, at 2-2, I definitely expect, especially as SirenSnails are underdogs, and they haven't won a Marsoc round yet. I assume they'll probably send quite a few through service and try to go for that cap, as it can just end this map straight away. But that's easier said than done, as pulling off a cap, especially on this OBJ, can be very hard when you're facing a good defense like Resurgence. But there is a round reset. Maybe somebody forgot to bring a utility, somebody might not spawn in.
Yeah, we can look at the KDs. Re 6-3 so far on the afternoon. The rest of the team certainly coming alive there. 3-2, 4-4, some good KDs. Over on SirenSnails, a similar story told, but Downpour and Lightskin share most of the burden, 4-3 respectively. Hansen certainly doing well with that double kill we saw at the end, but yeah, it does look like a potential technical pause here. Wait for one to reconnect and connect back in, maybe an audio bug or something like that. Who knows? There's
probably audio, yeah.
Plenty of potential reasons, but either way, it does give us some time to chit-chat and consider the upcoming giveaways that'll be happening on the weekends. If you do tune in to twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague, we will be doing regular giveaways starting this weekend of HyperX products, including keyboards, mouse, microphones, headphones, and I think that's it, but it's going to be happening every weekend. It's going to be happening every venue showcase. So you're going to want to tune in to twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague over the weekend at 6 p.m. PST Saturday and 12 p.m. PST Sunday. We also will have giveaways live with Echo Arena at 12 p.m. on Saturday and 6 on Sunday. And so 4 chances to get your hands on some HyperX products over the course of the next couple of weekends, leading us into Fall Fest for VRML, where we'll have the Pavlov Finals, Echo Arena's Challenger Cup, Onward postseason, and then the Echo Arena Finals. It is a lot of high-tier VR esports action that's going to be delivered to your doorstep. It's starting in November, so you're not going to, or October, excuse me. So you're not going to want to miss it. Do be sure to tune in and enjoy the action on the channels here, but also be sure you're following the twitch.tv/VR Master League channel, as that's where those giveaways will be happening. We may do a couple of here too, depending on how many we have left, but yeah, they're going to be happening regularly, and so you don't want to miss out on that. I really do like the HyperX product line, and ever since we've been a sponsor, I've been using the keyboard and mouse that they've given us, and obviously the HyperX Quadcast S. This thing's been going on maybe now 2 years or something like that, year and a half at least, with good quality for me and no issues. So an easy recommendation on their products. And in addition, if the giveaway items we're giving away aren't up to your standards, you can buy HyperX products with a 20% discount code only in North America. That code is HXVRML22. That'll get you 20% off of any HyperX product that isn't already on sale. So definitely be sure to use that code. I believe if you click the banner and the information beneath in the Twitch info, that will take you to their store where that code is automatically applied. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to enjoy the savings and giveaways because, well, we just love the communities. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to the next couple of weekends and next month and a half, 2 months. Also, some new leagues on the horizon, so do keep your eyes peeled for announcements. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of exciting stuff in the future for VRML and VR esports. So keep your ear to the ground. Follow the social medias. Head on over to Twitter and follow the VR Master League social media, the VR Master League Twitter. Also follow the Onward _VRML Twitter. There's a lot, I know, but we're doing a lot.
Yeah, there is.
We're doing a lot. So what do you want me to do? Okay, I got to get it in there. We've got this long timeout, which now I'm thinking is a called timeout. I haven't gotten a DM.
Definitely has to be a timeout. I'll check my DMs right now, but in October, there's definitely a lot to look forward to, as since the playoff format has changed this year with it being regional playoffs.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting. You're gonna see some very good matches in both regions, and then that global finals is gonna be a lot of fun to watch. So, yeah, very much looking forward to that postseason format and getting into it.
I received a DM from Blue, and it seems like someone's height was glitched, so that's what they're doing. They're fixing it right now.
Alrighty. Well, then maybe a technical timeout. Either way, I think I've plugged everything I can outside of our sponsors, which we do appreciate providing in prizes to our prize pool. But those sponsors include ProTube VR, a sponsor ever since the inception of VRML. They provide fantastic quality mounts for any of your controllers or VR headsets. They'll help stabilize your aim in-game. We also have VR Cover, which greatly enhance the comfort of any of your VR headsets. They'll help you stay in-game longer. And Asterion with fantastic VR mats, stands that have charging cable plugins built into them, with LED stands. I have one for my Quest. It's fantastic. And obviously VRML supporting VR esports. We really do appreciate everyone that puts their time into the VRML and everyone that does hang out and enjoy the action. And look at that. Would you look at it, Park? I've rambled on long enough. It's now your turn to talk about gameplay as we do finally get back into it and SirenSnails go on the attack.
Looks like Resurgence will be sending quite a few in the south here, as they got Re in the south tunnels behind, and we got Varix all the way in the south. Might come in contact with Blue sometime soon. We got 3 of them going down towards service, I think. Rambo will be watching that push. But Re might get a flank on them. If he approaches quick enough, he might be able to hear some footsteps from them right now. Oh, and he gets a kill on the downpour. Light Skin should be aware of Ree's position. So is Nisam. Light Skin gets the flick on the Ree. Very nice kill. There's now a 4v4. So it leaves E. Hansen and Lightskin in the basement.
I think we saw a defensive smoke from Rambo on the stairs, and we're gonna have to shift our attention from this eventual basement push to the action happening in the south stairwell. Varix definitely in an aggressive defensive position. I would say a very far forward one, but those have paid off a Resurgence in the previous rounds. Doesn't now, and SirenSnails, for I think the first time on offense, have a 4-3 advantage. They have a player advantage. How long will that last is the question, as Playboy Nug is dialed in and waiting for this push on the corner.
Yeah, Nugget's pre-firing this, trying to get the refrag, as the pre-fires for Resurgence have worked, as whenever one of them peeks out onto the wall, we've seen kills from Resurgence just from the pre-fire.
Also a two-pronged...
Oh, they're teasing Nugget.
Definitely a two-pronged approach, too, with Rambo here on the other side, rotating around, looking for Hansen for a second there, but they're not going to catch it. And so, yeah, it is just a back and forth here, a little looking for info. I think they could potentially invest in both swinging this corner, which does seem like what they're doing here. And so if one goes down, the other gets the kill, and hopefully a res comes through, but there's a trade there, and Blue isn't going to be able to get the res, but it does open up the entry point. It does keep them into that 3-2 advantage, and they do now have to cover the objective pretty heavily as Rambo pulls up into a very nice angle.
Oh, Blue peeks out of that corner, and Rambo instantly shoots, but barely misses the shots on the Blue. Barely misses again. Big firefight between Blue and Rambo. Rambo eventually gets a kill. Is now a 2v2. But Lightskin goes through service. Gets that kill. Lightskin going back in the basement. E. Hansen shooting at Chewy. If they're able to get this kill, it'll be the first Marsoc win of the night.
Yeah, they are certainly close. They got to look for this kill right now. It's all they need. They don't need to get the cap. They don't need to take the map win. This is a big point here, and then they can go on to the defense. Of course, you're giving your opponent the opportunity to cap, and so I'm sure Resurgence will push for it if they lose this round, but either way, it looks like they are going to kind of split up. Lightskin's going to go to the basement, and they're going to come up from the stairwell. This could pay off if Chawai doesn't extend and push forward onto Hansen.
Yeah, this definitely could pay off, but Chowie did find a little bit of a better angle than he had before. He could have easily got capped on, but now got a very good angle onto that tunnel there. But the light skin rotation could definitely pay off, especially if they are coordinated. Ooh. Oh, trade comes out. Another trade. I think that's the second trade between those two tonight. SirenSnails get the first Marsoc win tonight, meaning all they have to do is win one Valk round here, which they have been doing all night, and they'll take Subway.
It does feel like it's been all night, but these rounds have been so quick that we've gotten through 5 in about 30 minutes time here, as we do get closer now to this potential map point. Well, now we're on it. SirenSnails and Resurgence. If Resurgence can get the cap here on offense, they'll take the map. If SirenSnails can defend, they'll take the map. So, a very tense moment. Obviously, Resurgence can eliminate SirenSnails and tie this thing up again, and we can go back to trying to trade Volk rounds, yada yada, but we're not quite there yet. And this objective in particular, I feel that Resurgence are really going to go, you know, I don't know. You know, they're a #1 team. Do they want to risk taking a loss, their second loss in the regular season? You know, obviously losing a map doesn't mean you lose the series, but it isn't a good start. And I wonder if they'll take that risk. It's always exciting to see teams getting put into these positions where they have to kind of decide, what are we going to do? How are we going to play this out? Are we going to go for this 2-point cap, or are we just going to try and play things safe and pick the team down like we have been? So, you know, at least they have options, but
it definitely won't be an easy decision, as I think Resurgence will definitely be debating this in the tent right now. Yeah. As they are a solid team, they could easily win off picks, but they're also very good at capping, and they're very well coordinated team. Yeah. And because of that, getting a cap is much easier when everybody's coordinated together, suppressing the OBJ. So I think they're all debating right now what they're going to be able to do and what is their highest chance of winning. I think, honestly, what they're probably thinking right now is we've been winning Valk rounds almost every single time tonight. Maybe this OBJ just isn't their favorite, and if they can get this Marsoc win, they're probably banking on the fact they could get the Valk. So that would be an argument for them for taking the non-cap opportunity. But they could also easily decide to get the cap because they might be a little bit thrown off that SirenSnails won that Marsoc round there, right? So they might just try to end this as they see SirenSnails are capable of winning a Marsoc round.
Yeah. The exciting battle here, and certainly the underdogs performing well on their map pick, but even then it's a strength for Resurgence. So, I mean, we have some, I don't know what the hold-up between rounds is, but we'd have some time apparently, and so where do you foresee us going if you do take a look at the Resurgence stats? What would you, I mean, where would you anticipate map 2 taking us as we do finally get back into the action? We'll have some time before it happens, but where do you think we're going after this?
Since Cargo's banned, if they want to take it short and just kind of go full aggression, I do think they might pick Suburbia. But if they're feeling very coordinated right now, as they have been, Resurgence might choose to go for a longer range map Downfall, especially if they end up losing Subway. They might want to take it a little bit longer and just bank on the fact that they'll be able to coordinate well, as they do send, is that 3 or 4 going in the service tunnel?
No counter smoke coming in on the stairwell, so it's going to be open to push in here for the likes of Resurgence. And you can see them pushing in. Up the stairs they go. Confidence all the way through. A team kill coming in underneath. That's an unfortunate team kill they didn't need to have happen. And there's one, almost two. Ree does find the refrag. Absolute chaos here for Resurgence. This isn't the start they needed. They're into a 2v4 out the gate, and Choi is running into more defense.
Yeah, he's running right into it, and M203 for the smoke goes out. Lightskin gets the kill onto Chowie. It is now a 1v4. SirenSnails only need to kill Ree here, and Ian Stun takes the kill, winning Subway, which I don't think anybody expected based on the records. They must be feeling pretty good right now, which will make this a very complicated map choice for Resurgence. If they want to kind of change it to a slow range map like Cargo, or if they want to pick up the pace and choose Suburbia.
Yeah, you mean like a slow range map like Downfall? I don't think Cargo anyone would consider slow.
Yeah, Downfall. That's what I meant. Yeah, Cargo's not slow, and it's banned. So.
But yeah, this is quite a big W. It looks like we're gonna have to deal with a technical lobby restart here to find out where we're headed for map number 2. But yeah, an exciting start to the series here, and SirenSnails really doing well. You could hear Hansen cheering and celebrating at the end of that round. Certainly happy that they managed to take that W, and yeah, I am very curious where we go for map number 2. So do bear with us as we sort out the technical side of things. It does look like it is going to be Downfall if I'm looking at things correctly here. And yeah, they're going to the range. They're trying to get themselves away from Subway, even though it is now, I guess, not an undefeated strength. They're not 100% win rate on it anymore, but they were. And, you know, it's interesting that they maybe don't feel too good with close quarters against SirenSnails. Downfall is really a tell. You know, it indicates that they want to get away from SirenSnails and put some distance between them when they defend and attack.
The pick doesn't shock me, just because I feel like with close range maps, if you're a good team, even if you're facing a team that specializes in CQB, what can often end up happening, kind of like what we saw in Subway for a bit there's a lot of vault ground trades between the short range maps. I think one of the underrated aspects of the Resurgence team are their coordination, which a lot of people, what people kind of stereotype them as is super aggressive players, so they think Suburbia or Cargo could be their best maps, which they are one of their best maps, but they're also very good at long range with their coordination. So this map pick definitely makes sense to why they kind of want to slow things down a little bit here and try to see if they can beat them on coordination. But SirenSnails were very well coordinated too, so. And with Downfall, Valk advantage becomes even bigger than most normal maps, so that will give SirenSnails a little bit of an edge, since they will be on Valk.
Yeah, and we are just waiting for the lobby to fill up, so I think we'll go to a brief intermission. save me and Park some voice juice here as we do get ready for map number 2, Resurgence's map pick. The underdog so far winning. You're not going to want to miss how this unfolds, so do not go anywhere. We'll be back with map 2 in probably 5-10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for patiently waiting as we get the lobby prepped and ready to dive into round number 1. Let's take a look at the active rosters for map 2. It is Resurgence versus SirenSnails. On the attacking side, we have Ree, Playboy Nug, Vargs, Chawai, and Rambo. I think no subs there. And over on SirenSnails, Downpour, Hansen, Lightskin, Blue, and Kami. The usual suspects in some pretty early pre-fire coming in, giving away the north spawn of Resurgence, and now as they push in, we'll see what SirenSnails do to react on defense.
Risky push from Resurgence there in the north. Quite a few of them were sticking out from long range. Sometimes on those pushes, you would see 1 or 2 Marsoc members go down, but they were able to fully push a little bit more towards the east there. Hemi gets a kill on the barracks from North Hotel.
they are putting a lot of bullets downrange into the north side on this Resurgence team. It is no easy path for them to go forward with here as Blue swings out, getting aggressive. They're utilizing the knowledge they have of this map spawn, and so far have gotten themselves 2 early kills. SirenSnails are looking good on Resurgence's map pick. The over-aggression bites them in the butt, though, as Blue goes down.
Echo 4.
Seen a lot of that with his teams today where the aggression pays off majorly, but then also if they're aggressive for a little bit too long, eventually the opposing team will adapt and will look for that aggressive flanker. So it's definitely worked a lot for these two teams today, but at the same time, when you're being aggressive and flanking, there's also a time where you need to retreat, get back in OBJ. That way, the other team, by the time they adapt, they're just wasting their time looking for you. We got Rambo and Ree in the same building here. A little bit trapped as their position is known.
Tommy's got a good angle from that tower down onto their window, so they can't even really peek those. And instead, Ree and Rambo have to direct their attention up through the middle where, you know, Rambo is taking shots on some windows. Ree is looking for anything out those windows and not really finding a whole lot. So Resurgence just having a tough time up against SirenSnails here, at least at the start of round 1. How they'll move out from this north side is the big question, because again, there are multiple eyes, both from down below where you're seeing Downpour put out suppressive fire, but also from that tower, also an angle from Lightskin if they do want to take it. And so it does come down to really where is the weak part in their coverage, and I think it is in the south. You know, maybe there's an opportunity for Chwai to rotate around to the southwest and push into this defense.
Yeah, he already has a pretty good angle here on upper dumpster where he is looking at Heli 2-story where there are quite a few members in there. So if you can get a pick, that'll help out the team in the north quite a bit as he'll patiently look for that angle. Lightskin kills Rambo. It leaves 1 in the north, but Rambo is only down though. So Ree could go for the revive as Rambo is feeding callouts to him.
How we watch the south?
As I don't think it is safe for the revive, as Rambo's calling out. Chowie gets the kill on the Lightskin.
Big pickup there. Does get Resurgence somewhat back into this. With Rambo being able to be rezzed, they could turn this even into a 3-3, but Chwai cannot rotate for that res. They're saying, I got it, so I imagine what they're saying is that there'll be the distraction as they swing out, and now that push should come in from Ree, but it doesn't. As Chwai goes down, Ree now doesn't have any distraction to push out and get this res, but they're going to go for it. They're going to fly the corner, and they'll be able to get over there and scoop Rambo up, turn this into a 2v3.
It is definitely a lot more evened out now, but I mean, they haven't really had the opportunity to move, so you would assume all of Volk will still be aware that Resurgence, we're on that north side, but Rambo pushing right into Cammy's position here, looking at OBJ, where there will be 2 people inside the OBJ building. Might see Downpour, as Downpour is moving up in that second story location, but doesn't peek out on that side window. Rambo doesn't see, but Cammy hears the footsteps, pushes out. Rambo will hold a very tight angle onto that, though, as Rambo is aware that there is somebody on SirenSnails that are there. But at this point, they both know each other here, and it seems like it'll be a pretty slow play from both of them to try to kind of play chess almost and know where they are, know where to push. But Downpour gets the trade with Rambo on the second story.
They're alone in a 1v2, and they don't see Kami in the distance on the hilltop. SirenSnails are going to come out with a close defensive round on Downfall here. Maybe a little closer than they were expecting, but either way, they do shut down that team, and things were getting a little dicey there with just the 3 left on that north side. Some opportunities there for maybe a rotation or 2 to get over onto that west, but either way, time was sort of ticking down, so maybe not necessarily that an opportunity there, but a good round, and you know, I think we're going to probably be in for a couple of Volk back and forth until it comes to that point where they have to get that Marsuck win if they want to take the second map.
Yeah, I totally agree. It'll probably be the same thing we saw in Subway, where there'll be quite a few Volk wins, especially on Downfall. But as that Marsoc win becomes more and more important, I think we'll see some sort of attempt come out. And on Downfall, there are some very cappable OBJs where there's multiple spots in cap from. Like, for example, with the OBJ we are currently on, if you go into the first floor room and enter something that's called Dark Room, you can cap from that corner in the building.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different places you can cap on Downfall. So I think with a Marsoc, we might see a little bit more cap-heavy pushes than we did see on Subway. Should be interesting to see what happens here. Looking at the KDs, we got Rambo with 2 on Resurgence. We got Chowie with 1 on Resurgence. Looking at the SirenSnails sides, we got Cammy with 2, Blue with 1, Ihasen with 1, and Downpour with 1.
Yeah. That's nice. That's a good spread. Everyone getting involved in the action. That's important to keep your team loose and ready. And so we'll have to see if that spills over into this round or if Resurgence can kind of tuck in and find some kills. I wonder what this rollout's going to look like from SirenSnails and if they're going to go on the hunt for some early picks. Oh, yeah.
SirenSnails will get the same spawn as Resurgence did. And, TK comes out straight away there, but the revive does come out as Blue was trying to get an angle onto OBJ as he did see, I think, Chowie down there, but
there's a miscommunication. Not the both of them weren't supposed to push up here. It was only supposed to be one. After the team killed the res, it's a little too late as the angle gets picked up on the defense, and down goes one for SirenSnails. Not the ideal start there for sure. We'll have to see how the rest of the round goes for them, as that was only the first 30 seconds.
even though the revive was picked up, it'll still be a mistake that could hurt them a little bit, as the person that was picked up won't be at full HP, and also definitely slowed down their push, and possibly they lost a kill because of that they're trying to get onto Chowie. So it'll definitely hurt them in the long run, but this map is nowhere near from over, as it is still a 5v5.
Plenty of time.
We got two on OBJ building. We got Playboy Nug in the annex room. We got Rambo in the second story position, just like where we saw Downpour, which Rambo did trade with Downpour in that exact window that he is holding. We also see a lot of offenders in the same building that Rambo and Ree got stuck in. We see Hassan there, and we see Cammy.
44.
Or Hansen.
Yeah, nice kill there to open up the south side for both Downpour and Lightscan, and now this entire defense is focused around objective. It is a strong defense, like you said. They've got themselves into some good positions that worked well for
and Cammy goes
Resurgence.
down.
Or for SirenSnails, excuse me, as Resurgence there does scoop up one. Cammy does get picked up, like you said, and it takes us into a 3v4, so we'll have to see again how their south push pays off, because I think that's really what it's going to come down to, how they push into this objective from the position they have an advantage from. Again, that southwest really lightly covered right now.
Yeah, it is on both defenses. It seems like they aren't really worrying about that angle, and SirenSnails will be a little bit more spread out than Resurgence was on their offense, as they will have one in upper dumpster, one in center bungalow, and we have E. Hensen pushing up on barracks right now. Kind of like the same position we saw Rambo fight with somebody last round. So it's kind of like a recreation of what happened so far.
Yeah, it really is.
E. Hansen and Varix will definitely be hearing each other here, as E. Hansen might have saw Playboy Nugget in that window. Nugget definitely saw them. E. Hansen calls out Playboy Nugget. His position will be known. Varix trying to keep silent, it seems, here. E. Hansen pushing to the other side of this building. Will come a lot closer to being in contact with Varix, but we do got Chowie watching that angle on the other side. Downpour fires some shots on the OBJ building. Might have saw a little bit of Nugget, but wasn't able to tag him.
Oh, yeah, they did indeed. Nug almost catches, or does catch, a shoulder there. Downpour has to get a res, has to throw some utility out. They try to get out from that corner, but they overexpose themselves off of that smoke, and a little blind fire goes a long way. Now only 2 left for SirenSnails, and they have gotten 1 at least across the street, so Lightskin could push up from the southwest, maybe tag Chwai in the side, and then kick things off for the pinch. But it's all about timing with a team like this, and it's all about not losing Hansen as Playboy Nug finds, again, the hip there, peeking out, and down they go. It's all up to Lightskin in a 1v4.
Lightskin had the same experience on Subway, where he tried to pull off a 1v4 there. He was only able to get 1, which was Ree on the flank. Let's see if Lightskin can have a little bit of a better attempt here, but it will be very hard, especially on a map like Downfall. But Lightskin shoots at Rambo on Heli 2-story. Both of them exchanging shots, but no kills or tags come out as of now. But Lightskin will retreat a little bit into Center Hotel, but he'll go back up on the roof looking for the Rambo kill. As
Almost
Varix
catches it.
Oh, barely misses his shots on the Lightskin there. Varix will rotate in the building for now, but I would assume might come back to the same window a little bit later. Passive play from Resurgence on defense so far, but it isn't passive enough where they aren't rotating. They definitely are rotating in their buildings to try to get better angles onto Lightskin. So they definitely know Lightskin is the last one that is alive here. Lightskin might be able to catch him off guard, but oh, Chowie watching that doorway of Center Hotel.
Oh, tried to take the challenge, couldn't win it. Chwai finds the kill, and Resurgence take a solid defensive round themselves, as we now do change objectives, albeit pretty dang close to each other there. Pretty similar objective placement, obviously different capping opportunities, but still we're not going to see a ton of difference in what we saw here in these last 2 rounds, which makes me wonder what their sort of strategies will look like. Maybe now we see a bit more presence from that south side to rotate in, but maybe, I don't know, maybe these teams just have at this, they just don't find the need or the desire to push in from that west side, because there are a lot of angles that can watch for the crosses that you do have to ultimately make if you do take that movement out from the south. So I don't know, the risk reward analysis could go on forever in a game like this with teams that are this good, but either way, it's certainly it's been a very good back and forth here this afternoon. These 2 teams, really demonstrating the system in play, working well. Or week 12, it's when you expect to have very close matchups against opponents that are a very similar skill level to you. That's the whole idea of VRML, and it's at moments like these when I know we're in for a good game like this that I certainly do get excited. It makes me start to think, where's map 3 taking us? Could we get to a map 3 decider? Are SirenSnails going to upset what is a 39-1 connoisseur vote in favor of Resurgence? What is happening here? And I guess we're going to find out as we get back into it for round 3.
We're going to find out as we get another north spawn. That is 3 north spawns in a row on all OBJs, but we will see more of a south push from Resurgence. Seems like they don't want to go north heavy again, as it didn't work for them on Marsoc. They'll still send people through the north here, as you got Ree on sandbags. But Downpour misses the shots on the Ree, but Downpour gets the shots on the Ree. And Chowie will be a little bit pushed up. It is now a 5v4. Chowie gets the refrag.
An aggressive presence here in the north, especially with that rotation they were trying to make down into that crater building. That is super fast and kind of out of pace for the rest of the team. Maybe the intention is to get there early and then south distracts while they try and cap from the north. That certainly could have been the plan, and maybe still is, as Chwai is still here alive and well.
And the defense is very spread out here, as Blue was able to push to center bungalow, which might pay off, and he might be able to get more of a south angle onto the rest of the team. As they still have a passive push in the south, like you said, a little bit off pace here, as the north was super quick, and south has been pretty passive, slow pushes in alley, and Rambo as well within one of those Marsoc twins.
Putting some rounds out. And they've drawn the attention of Blue, and so you can see Blue dialed in now, trying to find the kill through the window. They also have a pretty dangerous presence and angle down onto what could be an overpeak from Playboy Nug, but VRML has already made it across successfully. And the north side still seems to be around and active, and finally Blue does catch a kill as Nug goes down trying to rotate off from that hilltop.
Another guy south.
Catches a kill off. The middle bungalow push, very successful so
Yeah.
far, as the self push is kind of being shut down here. But VRML is still a key factor, especially if he is able to get a kill onto Center Hotel.
Cammy, give me 2 clicks if you're alive.
But Lightskin did move their position. So VRML might not expect that, might still expect them to be more on the rooftop there.
Yeah, and while Blue's position is effective as it catches out another, Rambo goes down. VRML has gotten past them, you know, undetected. Blue doesn't know that there's another one down there. Chawai gets rid of Kami in the north, and there's suddenly a pinch opportunity on the objective with one of their defenders pretty far away from it. They're all the way in the middle now, looking down into this crater trying to catch Chawai, but they're not going to get the angle. And there's a lot of time to work with here. 3 minutes as Blue catches VRML out. If only they had the presence in the north to threaten Blue and prevent and push them off. But that is that aggressive forward defensive position really getting them a lot of results.
Oh, and Chow gets E. Hansen. Lightskin tries to get the refrag from the Center Hotel, but isn't able to. Blue was able to get that kill earlier on off the rotate. He wasn't even trying to get the kill there. It'll make Chowie have quite a big position, or quite a challenging position here, as Blue will push up towards Chowie. Very aggressive play here. Lightskin getting closer to OBJ. Blue coming from behind. But Chowie pushing up quick. Lightskin gets a kill on Chowie. That is another Volk round win on this map.
A solid back and forth here this afternoon. Certainly exciting to see here, and these teams really duking it out. 2-1 SirenSnails. Certainly looking to put a loss into the hands of Resurgence here. The second loss all season is what we could be seeing here. And if SirenSnails could get a cap, then obviously they'll take this map and the series. So that series point is in play right now, and it is going to be up to this Resurgence defense to stay disciplined and keep focused. Not let the distractions of a map 1 loss on a map that they are otherwise pretty successful at get to them. And we'll have to see what we get. 2-1.
Pretty impressive play from SirenSnails so far.
Yeah.
As they're a relatively new team. They aren't like season 13 new, but they've been around for a few seasons. But what they are new to is the master ranks. So when you get to master and very quickly you have to face off against Resurgence, that is a very tough task. It is not easy. And SirenSnails have been playing very good so far, sticking to the fundamentals, getting most, if not all, of their Vault wins so far tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been seeing a lot of good utility usage here this afternoon, too. You know, that's obviously a key element at a high tier. That utility has to be accurate, and, you know, on top of great nades and flashes, all of that, it's, you know, if anything we haven't seen, it's a lot of smokes to kind of deny vision. And maybe that's because people keep dying in them. You know, we keep seeing that blind fire into the smokes. That's the wise thing to do if you are, I guess, both defending and attacking and you're unsure of an enemy's presence in it. All you got is, you know, it's not impenetrable. You just have to put some bullets through it and hopefully catch an opponent. I've seen it happen more often than not, I feel like, this series with those smokes. So, you know, I wonder if that's a deterrent. Who really knows? But looks like we do have a temporary disconnect on the side of Siren. They are back though, and so we should be jumping into round 4 soon. That means we stay on the same objective, but we swap sides.
Should be interesting here to see if SirenSnails are able to get a different spawn in the north, as it has been 3 north spawns in a row for all Marsoc teams. I feel like we'll see a lot more variety if they're able to get more of the south-facing spawn. As it might force them to push a lot more people south and maybe be a little bit less aggressive on the north, as both of these teams have been pushing very aggressively on that north side. So if that is the case, Resurgence defense will have to adapt, as they have been used to fighting off strong forces from the north and quite a few forces from the south as well.
Yeah. Man, they really have been taking time between these rounds for these teams, I feel like. Normally there's only about a minute and a half, but I've been going way over that for these times in between these rounds, which is either an indicator to me that they are not paying attention or they are really doing a lot of discussion internally to try and get the right strategy before we go, because and both teams are agreeing to it. Otherwise, you don't, if one team wants to go, then the round has to start within the designated time limits. At least that's how I understand it. I'm no mod, I don't enforce these things. But I do know there is a time limit between these rounds so that people like me don't have to keep talking for 5 hours to the void. So when the teams watch this VOD, please figure it out next time. And let's get a little bit more rhythm into these rounds, because man, this is a great series and I want to get to it. I want to see how this downfall map shakes out and if we're going to have a map 3 decider or not.
Yeah, I kind of understand why they might be taking a little bit of time to plan, as this is a very important match for both teams. The SirenSnails are trying to prove themselves as a top team, as if they beat Resurgence, that's probably one of the best things they can do to prove themselves. And Resurgence are trying to stay with that reputation of pretty much an undefeated team. They definitely don't want that going down, so maybe the reason why the rounds are taking so long to start is because this is such an important matchup, especially with playoffs approaching in October for both teams. Or maybe they are having some tech issues, as lately I found almost every single match I've been a part of, there's been at least 1 or 2 or 3 mic issues. So maybe that's why it's taking long, as sometimes people try to fix it in the round, but we are starting as of now.
Finally, you just have to complain about it, and the teams do sometimes get the message, but they obviously can't hear us live, so it's all just I don't know. Anyway, back into the action we go.
Back, though.
Yeah, they will. They'll get the message. Back into the action we go, though, for round number 4. Resurgence and SirenSnails, and out the gate, bullets are sipping down onto Resurgence's defensive push out. SirenSnails looking for some early kills and not afraid to give away their early Marsoc spawn.
Another north spawn here. Seems like we're just going to get north spawns all night, and they definitely weren't afraid to give it away, as they did see some of Resurgence crossing, try to get an early kill. Usually these north spawns, either Marsoc dies early or Volk on the spawn, as they're right out in the open, but we haven't seen an early pick so far off these north spawns, but every team has attempted to.
They're literally still in respawn.
Downpour almost catching Playboy here, who has pushed up nice and forward into that center bungalow, like we saw in defense from SirenSnails last round. That worked out quite nicely, but this time it's one over, so it's not the exact same bungalow. They have a bit of a different angle onto this north defense, and that's the reason they dove in here. So they could be peeking those windows. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is pushing in from the south, and some fire over the top to suppress ends up drawing enough attention for Nug to catch Lightskin pushing out of the ravine.
That south push was looking strong for quite a while, but with one of their members down in there, it'll definitely slow things down for them. And the north push so far, polar opposite to what we've seen in the north. They have been playing it slow, especially now that they know that there's one in the center bungalow. They're definitely going to want to pick them off, as Nugget will have a good position to pick off people from the south and from the north if he rotates, as he tries to get a shot on the south again. Downpour putting down some fire here. I'm not sure if it's on OBJ or on that center bungalow, as all the lasers right now are drawn towards Playboy Nugget, especially on the south side. They need to get rid of him before they're able to push further, especially on the south attack, and he will still be a threat to the north as well, as Nugget will now look towards the north.
Yeah, and, it's important to stay focused in a game like this. I'm hearing some comms come in from players, and it seems like they're just not locked in. You know, Shoei missing some shots there and then getting upset about it. That's certainly what will end up impacting a player negatively in a game like this, where you'll then miss your shots even more because, you know, it's the tilt factor, as we say, you know, and definitely not what a team like Resurgence wants to have happen. Maybe after a tough map 1 loss, they're having some tough time here against SirenSnails on Downfall. Things just kind of keep piling up. We'll have to see if Blue can find some kills through the window or not, but either way, it is a pretty intense battle here, and the SirenSnails are at a disadvantage, so Resurgence could pick up another as the clip there onto the shoulder of Blue does come in, but Blue is able to get a quick heal, and only one more bullet for them, and they'll go down, and there it is.
Fortunate note, Nugget will be on low HP in the center bungalow here, as he did take some shots to Blue earlier, and was able to put a syringe into him, but he won't be full HP. But with Blue down, this will make it a lot easier for Nugget. Blue did have an opportunity to kill Nugget earlier, but didn't quite see he was there in that corner as he was expecting him in the window. But Downpour will be approaching onto Playboy Nugget slowly here, trying not to give away his position. Most likely, he'll try to pop through one of those windows, see if he's on the other side of it, as Nugget will shoot at Cammy on the north side.
Wow, really drawing the attention for Downpour to work their way up to the tight corner. Playboy Nug's not going to be ready for this swing, and wow, looks like Downpour wasn't ready for Nug to be there. A nice kill comes in, a res on the other side of things, turns this back into a 3v3. In a battle here, a firefight at long range as neither one of these players connects until finally Chawai finds the head of Kami, and down they go in the north. It's now up to the duo working their way in from the south, who are going to be going up against Ree and Varix. But it is kind of a 2v2 unless the overpeak from Nug comes in. Ree almost catches Blue. They almost go down as well. Varix swings wide. Blue's coming up through the center, and a lot of people are giving away position. They now know Nug's up through the middle. Ree knows Blue's outside, and it's absolute chaos for what is the final attacker. Blue up against, again, a 1v5.
Blue's had a lot of opportunities to try to get clutches tonight, but very tough task. But he gets a kill onto Ree, leaving it as a 1v4.
Wow, what
the kill
a
on the
double.
Almost finds Chowie. Rambo could get the refrag here, and he does.
They didn't identify Rambo in the window, but a great double kill almost gets that 1v5 rolling. Couldn't quite pull it off, but I love to see that physicality in that play. The flash for the kill, and then that duck and pop back up to avoid the bullets. Very nicely done. Again, they get that final shot laid into him by the defense, but a good battle here, and you know, we stay tied up 2-2 apiece. Switch objectives, and depending on spawn, this one definitely is cappable. We've seen it happen plenty of times.
Both of the teams will definitely be looking for the quick spawn on this OBJ. And if there isn't, they'll definitely send on the Volk side up to Marsoc Twins. I'm expecting a pretty spread out defense from SirenSnails here, as there will be a lot of angles to cover, but they also have to be wary of the multiple cap positions on this OBJ. They can cap from obviously just directly outside the OBJ, but they can also cap in darkroom of this OBJ.
Yeah.
So they'll have a lot of angles to watch, kind of like a 360 view around this OBJ. So it's going to be a very tough one to defend.
Yeah. Requires you have multiple, you know, to be watching 360, and with objectives like these that do, you know, those three where you have to watch all your angles that are oftentimes the hardest. And so we'll have to see what the Resurgence attack strategy is as we do go into, well, actually I was going to say the time between rounds because those have been typically longer, but it looks like Resurgence are ready to attack. They're not going to get a quick spawn. Instead, they'll pop up over in the northeast, but it may offer them a chance to find some kills on early rotations from the defense. It's all up to how the defense sets up, how they attack. Will these first few seconds net us a couple of kills or not is the big question.
Defensive smoke coming out from Lightskin here. That way he is able to get into Center Hotel a lot easier. Depending on the spawn, Blue and Lightskin could have been picked off, but the spawn was perfect for this defense to get two people into Center Hotel. That'll probably be a pivotal location, as 3 of them are pushing down on the north into more of the west side of the map.
Playboy Nug has an eye over onto that south side, and yeah, it does look like they're going to try and swing things over. The spawn you get over on the west is often called that quick spawn, because once you get on this, when you're on this side, you can kind of just sprint straight to the objective. Obviously, now with SirenSnails set up on defense inside that 3-story, this sort of sprint is going to be a little bit more challenging. But Ree and Rambo do at least make it across this defensive line, and we'll be getting into that close quarters combat up through the middle soon enough. Blue goes down, and that's information for this attack squad to know that there are maybe 1 or 2 inside the 3-story.
Yeah, it is very interesting to see that there are 2 in that White House there. As Lightskin does get the kill on a Chowie, more towards the north. It'll be a very stealth-heavy push for Resurgence now. 3v5, tough situation here, as they are all in very similar locations. So you still got 1 more towards the north, though.
Okay, so there's 1 in Center Hotel, 2nd floor. I'm hiding inside.
Ree and Rambo will have to deal with Lightskin and Blue in the Center Hotel location. As it seems that in the Center Hotel, they are rotating positions a little bit, trying to figure out what they'll watch. They don't want to peek the same angle, as Ree and Rambo will very quickly catch him. As Blue comes out, peeks the doorway. Lots of movement here in the Center Hotel.
Yeah, and on Resurgence's end, they're kind of stuck into the positions that they're in right now. Ree doesn't really have the luxury of pushing out with so many eyes on their position, so Rambo does try and draw a couple over to their walls. You do see both Blue and the 2 lasers from that White House at the top are dialed in over onto Rambo's position, which in the meantime, as they go down, unfortunately, Ree is slowly working up to that 3-story. Ooh, that's a big kill from Playboy to get rid of 1 of the 3-story defenders, and now Blue is thoroughly distracted. Ree calls out the information. They're going to be pushing in on Blue, trying to catch him on the stairwell, and they grab an ankle.
Wow. Center Hotel completely cleared. Went from a pretty tough situation to a 2v3. Very possible to do, especially as they got 2 of them in the White House. 1 of them is now pushing down towards OBJ, recognizing that if they get the kill on OBJ, it would be an easy cap for the Resurgence team. So I wonder if 1 of them will be able to catch that rotation, but it seems like they'll get to OBJ safely, as Playboy Nugget and Ree were quite far off of that angle. So Downpour was able to push back into it. Having a Cammy in the White House will be critical to try to get maybe an open rotation from maybe Resurgence expecting most of their members to be on OBJ, which might make them feel a little bit more confident moving around the downfall map here. So Cammy will have a pivotal role to try to pick that off, as Cammy should know a general location of Playboy Nugget, as that smoke trailed for quite a while, as they are near Ice Cream Truck.
Hansen is watching the front. Downpour has an option to peek out the window, but I don't know if Nug can get past Cammy. There's maybe a route to be very close to this objective and go for a cap. Nug may end up going around to the backside, which ends up exposing them even more to the defense, but they know Kami's there. Those shots come in, don't connect onto them in that window, but Kami ducking down gives them the false impression that the kill did come through.
Based on what Cammy was watching there, if Nugget didn't put the... Nugget gets the kill on a Downpour on the 2nd story of OBJ. Nugget is calling for a cap right now, saying that Ree is clear to cap it, as he puts major pressure onto White House. He is now going... he's going for the cap here, but didn't realize Sen was there.
Echo 1, rooftop.
What a huge defense there for Hansen. If they go down, it's an open and free cap still. You know, Ree could push down onto this, get Hansen now that they know they're here on this bottom floor, and then be punching in the code for map win. But it's not quite in the cards yet. Hansen's still alive and well, still a threat, and the clock is ticking. And Ree has to move out into the open, where Hansen catches a very nice angle onto the stairs. And SirenSnails weather the storm take their Marsoc round, go on to the attack for again what is now series points, 3-2 for them.
The bulk advantage of not picking Downfall paying off huge for SirenSnails here, as it has been consecutive Volk wins, just like Subway, but it's gone for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
As Volk advantage out of any map, Downfall is one that you really want to have it on. Unfortunate missed cap opportunity from Resurgence there. They might have not had a completely accurate kill count, as people were going down pretty quick, and SirenSnails were pretty well coordinated there, as I did hear them say Echo 1, so they had a perfect kill count on them.
Yeah, knowing the kill counts is vital for, you know, especially at this rank, and it allows you to really react completely differently whether you're on defense or offense. So it's important that, you know, when you do hear an inaccurate call out, that is potentially detrimental to a team if you say you killed someone and you didn't. And we've heard that actually a couple of times already in this series, where they've called out a kill that hasn't been confirmed, and then bullets have come out from the window just a few moments later, you know. And so trying to keep an accurate kill count holds its risks, but having one has way more value. And so, you know, it's again just the game of Onward, the game of the simulator, that you really have to balance your risk rewards and which ones you take and which ones you're confident in that you won't have to take. You won't have to suffer from that risk. But I guess we'll see if SirenSnails can take a Marsoc round, or if Resurgence will continue to bat around Volk W's as we get into round number 6 on map 2.
Another North spawn here. Seems like that's what we're going to be getting all night on Downfall. No quick spawn, which is very pivotal for this OBJ, as it looks like they might be leaving Center Hotel alone for now, which might leave an opportunity for Marsoc to grab that position on this OBJ. It is very key, as it has a very big view of OBJ and other spots like White House.
Shots taken early did give away their spawn, but there is a lot of defilades here, you know, a lot of verticality where you can avoid lines of sight, and so Blue has done that. They've gotten themselves over successfully onto this west side, and this is kind of dangerous. Having a lone element pushing towards objective while the rest of the defense occupies the defenders, there's a chance that you can push up on an objective like this and be entering in a code. And so I wonder if that is potentially in SirenSnails' mind right now. You have this lead. Do you go for a cap and take a 5-2 win, you know, like, or do you just play your cards right and look for the 4-2? Do you, you know, it's the Volk advantage, so maybe you want to try something unique. Again, it's the beauty of Onward and that risk-reward balance that you have to assess as a team. And when you're at the, like you said, when we're at so far into the season, Park, that assessment kind of gets altered a little bit on teams wanting to win.
Yeah, like early on the season, it almost feels like matches don't matter as much. But as you go later on, they do. Ree on the flank gets Cammy. Ree could have killed Cammy much earlier on, but didn't look that way as Ree was flanking. But it doesn't matter, as Ree did eventually get the kill and will now be focused on the north side here, trying to collapse in on them. But he will have a lot of ground to cover here, as offense is quite pushed out, and some of them even very close to Center Hotel.
It's such a crazy risk to take at this rank, to be so far away from your objective, that I don't even know that Siren... I mean, there is one looking because gunshots were back here. But, man, what a risky move to be here. Saying they're going to stay here for a minute or two. You know, depending on how the on-objective defense goes, that could be bad news quick, as Lightskin does get scooped up into the north. Blue is going to be able to crawl their way up to this objective. Is Rambo paying close enough attention? I mean, there is definitely a route for Blue to get up here and punch this code in.
I think at this point, with Ree's position, it tells us that as it does kind of pay off, he does get a kill on Hinsen, but it tells us that at this point they care about map wins, not points, because they just want to get this win, so they're playing super risky right now to get this win. So I think that's why they decided to put Ree all the way over here to potentially increase their chances on a round win, but definitely increase cap risk.
Oh, Tablets out, the distraction, the kill came in, and it drew Chawai away from the objective. Blue
Wow.
punches the code in with 3 left alive for Resurgence. The off objective attack from Ree. SirenSnails upsets 39 people and make 1 person very happy as they do take the series win 5-2 of all things on map number 2 off of a cap. And you know, the risk reward, definitely seeing the consequences of that risk being taken here as an open objective. I mean, that really was everything working out perfectly too, because Chawai was watching the objective, but it wasn't until the shots came in, not from Blue, who was about to shoot their opponent. They heard that movement coming. They were about to take those shots, but instead they come over the top from the teammate, and then Chawai takes their eyes off objective to go on the hunt for that kill. I mean, you couldn't get more of an Onward timing there, but also really nice read from Blue to just take Tablet out and go for that cap after those shots came in.
Very pivotal read there, and it does secure the win for SirenSnails. Huge upset, and that risk from Ree, even though it kind of makes sense, because at this point, all they cared about was winning the map, but I feel like there was a flank that they could have done that could have been a lot more effective. It was kind of more closed in and not on the polar opposite side of the map, since he was so far away from some of their opposing offenders there that the flank, he was barely even able to get too many kills off. Plus, it risked the cap opportunity. As we do move into Snow Peak here, another long-range map today. Kind of shocked. I expected to see at least 1 Suburbia round.
It is long range, but it's like, but it is, you know, 60-40 long range. You know, there is that 40% of close quarters objectives that you can get on this map, and so maybe kind of banking on getting a couple of those mixed in to this objective rotation, but it is, again, a bit of a risk. Unless SirenSnails want the range, because they did do well enough on Downfall, maybe they're going to stick to something like Snow Peak to keep themselves into that long-range favor. I guess either way, they played well close quarters and long range, and so if there's going to be a mix of both, and they're going to play both well, why not go on to Snow Peak on their map pick? It does make sense, especially from a momentum side of things. And I mean, geez, we are on path for SirenSnails to deliver Resurgence their second win second loss all season, but not even allow them to take a map. If that ends up happening here, we'll have to see on Snow Peak. I'm not seeing a sub on SirenSnails, and Resurgence still have a 5th to connect in, and then we'll be underway. But what are the stats on Snow Peak? A strength for SirenSnails?
Huge strength. As I'm looking at them right now, it is 8 played on Snow Peak, 6 wins. If we look on Resurgence, it is 2 played, 1 win. So this map pick actually makes a ton of sense. It seems like Snow Peak is SirenSnails' most solid map, and Resurgence did choose not to ban it against them, which is very interesting. But SirenSnails are also pretty good at quarantine, so the ban still makes sense. But and it also makes sense on a point of view of Marsoc and Valk. Since there's been so many Valk trades, I feel like a map like Snow Peak doesn't promote as many of them. And since SirenSnails did pick the map, they will be on Marsoc. And with that close range and long range, it promotes some Marsoc wins, but it also promotes solid Valk play, which SirenSnails have been perfect at all of tonight.
Yeah, it really has been, you know, a display of top-tier teams. Resurgence, also playing equally as well. That battle on Subway and their plays on Downfall, very good. And what you would expect from a team that's been winning consistently, but certainly exciting to see that there doesn't seem to be a guaranteed #1 team right now, at least in that top tier of the NA ladder, and I like that because it means going into postseason is anyone's guess. It's a guessing game of who's going to come out on top, and that means that we're going to have some great postseason battles, and I'm already starting to think about it. We're a couple of weeks off, but I'm already getting excited about it.
I'm very excited for postseason, as we will see a lot of new teams in the postseason this year, with more being able to make it because of the regional playoffs. And since some of the OG teams aren't here anymore, it does leave room for teams like SirenSnails to kind of come into the game and take over. that spot. And it seems like Resurgence will only be playing with 4 here, as they are missing out on Rambo. They must not have a replacement ready to go. Rambo pregame was telling me that he was having some headset issues. So I feel like he didn't want to step out here, but his headset, he must have been dealing with those issues all of today. As Nugget gets an easy or quick kill on the sand, but then Blue gets the refrag, but only gets a trade. Both of them are down. But the revive comes out, and they will probably confirm Blue here. Cammy going around the other side will come in contact with Nugget. Does get the kill. Ree gets a kill on the downpour. Should give away their position, but Cammy does not see Ree. But oh,
what?
How did that not kill him?
It literally detonated on their back.
What is going on with some of these grenades tonight? As Ree does get the kill on the Cammy, I feel like Ree should probably be dead right now. But that's just kind of how Onward goes sometimes. As Light Skin is the last one up.
I've never seen such an egregious offense of explosives not doing the damage they should be doing. Wow, I guess don't hit your opponent with the M203, it won't kill him. Chawai hits their opponent with bullets, and we know that does the trick, as Resurgence take a powerful Volk round, heavy aggression, and yeah, maybe some head scratching for Kami, but either way, a solid 4-v5 round 1 win. Where was this aggression on Downfall?
Well, I do feel like the aggression was kind of there on Downfall, but it wasn't utilized in a proper way. It was different because it was like pushing up to different buildings, but not necessarily lanes where opponents would be pushing from. And it was kind of more of, on this OBJ specifically, they pushed out very close towards OBJ, but were aggressive in that sense. But in Downfall, they were pushing super far from OBJ. So it's just different forms of aggression. It seems like the close range aggression is what's working for Resurgence here, and Snow Peak does promote that despite being a large map.
Very true. And now they go on to the attack, still 4v5. Haven't had that 5th jump in just yet, but maybe they just need that extra bit of confidence to be able to play well, and maybe being into a 4v5 is going to give them that kind of carefree vibe, so to speak, that allows them to play aggressive and confident. We'll have to see what that looks like on their attack, as SirenSnails certainly don't want to let slip away a map, as they've gotten 2 away from the #1 team. They definitely want to get this 3rd. The series is decided, but the rounds won do determine how much a team goes up and down in rank, and so SirenSnails want all the bits of rank that they can get right now, as we're into that back half of the season, and they want to be automatically qualified for the postseason. Get that by being, I believe, in the top 7. I could be different now, but don't quote me on it.
I think it's top 7 per region. That's what I've been hearing, but I don't think it's been completely confirmed yet, so don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how the playoffs are working this year, as there is a TK on OBJ. Nugget having exchanges with somebody on bunker. Long range battle there, as we got the rest of the offense kind of staying more towards their spawn, trying to get these long range picks.
Oh, I mean, look where Blue was. They were definitely at a position where an attacker would be, not necessarily a defender. That's a super forward defensive spot. They must have sprinted across just dead across the lake to get there.
That is crazy. They were not caught by the other team, but their own teammate, because they literally spawned right beside the lake. As Ree does push into bunker, that position is neutralized now, as it is a 4 and 3.5. Blue probably just there for callouts, as I doubt any SirenSnails members will even dare to try to get a revive onto them.
A lot of info being relayed, and recharging forward here. Should have an angle on to Downpour soon enough, but Downpour perfectly times their tuck into defense, and now Ree's going to push forward without knowledge that Downpour's here. Downpour pushes forward, not hearing Ree behind them, takes shots in front of them, and Ree's going to find that kill. It's 3v1 now, as Hansen's the last one to defend. I wonder if Bree's going to be looking for a cap opportunity. Likely not, as Hansen here is battling at the helicopter.
Flash goes out, could have easily hit Hansen. But Ree will take this opportunity to rotate around the building, and they will meet up with Chowie at the other side here. Trades, and that's a second round win for Resurgence. Seems like this 4v5 is working well for them as of now.
Oh, man. How does Rambo the Third take that? You gotta wonder, you know? Doing better without Rambo than with, but I was just joking, of course. Rambo having some tech issues there, and again, it is because they're playing so loose and carefree right now. They've lost the series. They're down a player. They're just kind of flinging themselves at their opponent, and it seemed to me like that's what was working well for them in map 1 on Subway, that aggression, you know, out the gate. We were seeing it, but then it kind of got tapered off a little bit, and now, especially with Downfall being thrown in there, Snow Peaks here, and we're seeing this resurgence of aggression from Resurgence, and they now get a close quarters objective. So how do they play on defense here? There is room for aggression on defense with this objective as well, and so I imagine we'll see more of it.
Yeah, we'll definitely see aggression here, either if they're push somebody in the north or the tunnel, but at the same time with this OBJ, if you kill everybody on it, it's a very easy cap, so they do have to be careful with that. So hopefully they send one member out and then keep 3 near OBJ. But they definitely want to stay playing the aggressive way they are now, because it's working really well. As they are all very good, accurate shooters, so that's where the carefree playstyle really helps them. As they got 2 of them pushing out past barrels here.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Try something
If
new,
there's a
counter-aggress. They're going to find rotations on offense where nobody's expecting to run up against the defender, and Nug gets one very early. The rest of this defense continues to push forward. Lightskin does at least get one of them, but Varix is quickly pushing in from the back. Lightskin seems to almost be wary of that potential threat as they duck in behind the sandbags, and they could be popping up, catching one and soon enough. Chawai gets one, and there's battles everywhere. The trades between Downpour and Ree. Varix catches the kill. One left alive for Resurgence. It's all up to Kami.
Resurgence has nobody on OBJ right now. Chowie was the closest. The rest are coming back. Oh, and a TK comes out. They're very trigger happy right now. 1v1. But Chowie did get back to OBJ luckily. This heavy aggression definitely paid off for them, but it also hurt them in a way where they could have got capped on for, I would say, about 20 seconds there. And also that TK coming out as they're just kind of pushing around all the hallways, not really knowing where their teammates will be, as there isn't necessarily a set plan, it seems like. As it will be a 1v1 between Cammy and Chowie. Cammy coming around the north here. Chowie was just watching it, but has a lot of angles to cover, so we'll kind of be running all over OBJ, checking all those doors, making sure nobody gets in.
Yeah, being alone on this objective, that's certainly a challenge, but there's worse objectives to be alone on for sure, as you really just have to watch entry, you know, the potential doorway entry points, and there is 4 of them, so again, it is kind of tough, but we'll have to see how Kami pushes in, if they go silent or if they try and throw some utility in. Where would they find that utility is the other question. Do they have any available? And they seem to have that launcher. I don't think the M203 has been shot yet, so I wonder if there's a smoke or a grenade inside of that ready to go.
We've seen Cammy use that M203 last round, or a few rounds ago, on Ree, but the grenade, well, I guess hit Ree, but didn't quite hit him at the same time, so it should be interesting if Cammy is able to use this successfully this time, but we don't know if it's a smoke or if it's grenade at this point, so if it is smoke, it will leave this OBJ a little bit easier for Cammy to push into. But if Cammy does have that grenade in there, they will be able to kind of know more where Chowie's at. Pre-fires it, but Chowie wasn't there. Chowie gets the kill. Nice attempt by Cammy.
I don't know what they're saying, but nice job from Resurgence to net themselves a 3-0 round or map 4v3 right now. Definitely a nice bounce back from what otherwise was a tough 2 maps on both Subway and Downfall. It's, you know, I suppose not too little too late, because technically the scoreline could be pretty dang, could be, no, do the math. Could be even if they can get a cap here. But otherwise, the scoreline currently 9-7. So if they can get this round, I mean, they're going to lose by the least, well, outside of capping, they're going to lose by the least amount possible that they could with the current scoreline. So definitely something to be chasing here on this third map. To be shutting them out like this would be big, and, you know, that loss in MMR would really be a lot less. As a first place team, you're obviously kind of they have some cushion to be bumped down that ladder, but I imagine that a big loss could potentially knock them down to second or third with how close the top of the division is. And so, you know, they definitely didn't want that to happen, and it's still not out of the cards yet. If SirenSnails can put some points on the board, then they will definitely retake their strong performances on maps 1 and 2. But for now, this is a big round number 4 for map 3. We go back into the action with Resurgence on the attack.
SirenSnails definitely have to fight here, as, I mean, no matter what, if they get 2 map wins on Resurgence, which they already did, that will be a big MMR boost for them no matter what, as Resurgence is quite ahead of them in the ranks. So the higher you are up in the ranks, and if there's an upset, the higher the upset, the more reward you get for MMR. But if they're able to come back on this map and take this map, the MMR boost could be one of the biggest MMR boosts we've probably seen in, like, at least a few seasons. If SirenSnails are able to take this back here, as Hansen gets a kill, Ree gets a refrag through the smoke, Showy gets a confirm off.
Downpour does try and flash up and over. They'll peek out. They'll catch Ree. A team kill on the backside. Oh no, Kami getting involved and under the chaos. There'll be a kill from Blue, and Lightskin will finish things off. And SirenSnails will take a very good Volk round. We do stick into the close quarters though, and man, we could have a real chaotic round here, depending on if SirenSnails do get that quick spawn, or if Resurgence end up surviving and then getting that quick spawn. I mean, there is, you know, I don't know what we're gonna get here with this series, especially with how this Resurgence team is playing, kind of unpredictable, really. And while we do have a brief break here between rounds, I do want to give a shout out to everyone that has been tuning in here for the entirety of the series. We do appreciate you stopping by and enjoying the Onward action. A reminder that there's going to be some giveaways this weekend over at twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. If you want to get your hands on some free HyperX products, you're going to want to do it by tuning in over on that Twitch channel and entering into the giveaways when they are announced on in chat. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. Those times will be Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. Eastern. And that's a mix of Echo Arena and Onward. But if you want your chances at a giveaway, you're going to want to use all 4. Regardless, it is going to be some good esports action ahead of us here for the next couple of weeks leading up into Fall Fest, so you're not going to want to miss it, as we're not going to want to miss this round. Getting back into it, the 4v5. Resurgence trying to cling on to this one. They very well could take a map 4v5 against SirenSnails, and wouldn't that be kind of a slap in the face?
He's finished.
I think I've lost my co-caster.
We got a -1.
Yes, we have lost our co-caster, so it is just me now. But either way, a good start for SirenSnails, as now they have the 4v3. Uh-oh, a flank coming through. SirenSnails suffering from Ree's aggression. Lightskin is going to trade. And it leaves Blue alone on the objective. They could be punching in the code. The res is here, but no one's back to defend. And for the second time this series, Blue punches in that code in what seems to be under 3 seconds, or close to it at least, 3-4 seconds, like a Formula One pit stop. But either way, a very fast cap. And yeah, that is things tied up. Just like I was saying, this could be a nice chance for Resurgence to get that scoreline into their favor, but with a 3-point swing back into SirenSnails' hands, their series win is that much more strong. Can they take a third map is the question as they go on to defense up against a 4-player attack who doesn't have a quick spawn. How will it get played out? We'll have to see. We dive into it for map number 3.
Where you want me?
I'm not gonna really play that.
Final round here and see who comes out on top. Can't believe it's gotten back to 3-3, but here we are. See what the defense looks like. I imagine Resurgence going to be diving in for the attacks here early, but at the overhead, it does seem like there's some in-game disputes. Team kill comes through. A nice flash from Blue, but Nug's not blind. Downpour catches Chawai outside. It's just up to the duo here as the trade between Nug and Blue leaves Ree alone in a 1v4. The Resurgence team not exactly having a good series here today as SirenSnails dominate and end up destroying Resurgence 4-3, a map 3 victory. What a tough pill to swallow for the Resurgence team. Not a good indicator for them either, as they're losing to the number 4 ranked team 3 weeks before the end of regular season. You know, could indicate a potential slide for this Resurgence squad, which at a time when you don't want one. Now, of course, that could be me getting way too deep into the analysis, but it really was just SirenSnails beating them here this afternoon with good utility, good coordination, and good solid onward mechanics. So fun to watch. And yeah, you could definitely tell at the end Resurgence not happy with the performance here this afternoon from themselves, and I don't blame them. Either way, it was a fun series to tune into, and I think I at least have Park here for some final notes. I mean, what are your thoughts on what otherwise was a great series? 3 maps in the bank for SirenSnails.
Well, I think what this definitely shake things up quite majorly here, as Resurgence has pretty much been undefeated since about week 2 or 3, and losing to a team that just recently became master is a huge event, and nobody expected it, as we saw with the connoisseur votes. What this means for SirenSnails is they've not necessarily secured a playoff spot, but they're very, very close on basically guaranteeing it now, especially if they keep winning matches and playing this well.
Right.
They were able to capitalize on every single little mistake Resurgence made, which is what you want to do in the master ranks. What separates 2 master teams is usually which teams are able to capitalize on those little mistakes other teams make and which aren't. And SirenSnails definitely did, and it shows resilience in a team as well. And to be able to come back 3-0 on Snow Peak, despite already winning, they could have easily just gave up, but they decided they still wanted that extra bit of MMR and came back.
Big moves from SirenSnails, but it is going to be the end of things for us here this afternoon. If you want to catch more action, you can tune in this weekend over at twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. There also may be some games cast tomorrow. We will be sending you to a matchup that should be live still right now over on twitch.tv/OML2. And so the day continues with Onward action, but that'll be it for us here on the desk. My name's Ben NightFiree, my co-caster Park, and we'll see you all this weekend for more action, so don't miss it.